Okay, this is NVHA 020043. It's September the 11th, 2002. This is our 64th interview, and we're at the home of Paul and Virginia Loftus, and Virginia Loftus has agreed to do an interview with us, and she's very excited about this. So,
Can't hardly wait.
yeah. So you were in the Navy?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll start out with your full name.
Virginia Sue Mahaffey Loftus.
Okay, Mahaffey, that's a good, that's
Mahaffey's
Mahaffey's maiden name, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Good Scotch name.
Yes, it is. Very good name. And your date of birth?
9/24/22.
Almost happy birthday.
Almost.
Okay. And your rank at discharge?
Ensign.
Okay. Well, Ensign Loftus, where were you born?
I was born in Asheville, North Carolina.
God's
Wonderful.
country.
Yes, that's right. God's country. My father never understood why I wanted to come here.
Asheville, North Carolina. Were you born at home or?
No, I was born in the hospital. My mother was a nurse.
Oh, okay.
And she had a private duty nurse and me, and I was in the room with her, and it was quite a thing.
Are nurses good patients?
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends on how afraid they are, how scared
I've
they
always
are.
kind of wondered about, we've heard of nurses before who have had babies, and I just kind of wondered how well they did. And
Well, I'm sure my mother was a good patient. But she was kind of a pioneer in her time. When my father came back from World War I,
Okay.
she had gone into training to be a nurse, and he wanted her to quit
Ah,
and get married. And she said, no, I'm going to finish this.
wow.
So she finished it, and they got married, and he died when I was 5 years old, and my brother was 18 months with pneumonia. And so she hired a black lady who raised me, basically, and went to work.
So what was your mother's name?
My mother's name, Arizona Virginia Thomas.
Oh, what a great name. I love that name.
Yeah.
That's got a real poetic ring to it.
Yeah.
And your father, what was his name?
Joseph Howell Mahaffey.
Do you remember anything at all about your dad?
I remember that he came in. He was an engineer on the Southern Railroad.
Okay.
And he came in from a run, and he was not sick, and he had a chill. I remember that. Remember my mother put him in bed, and in those days there was no antibiotics, so you either were strong enough to survive or you died in 5 days. They always went through a crisis in 5 days. And she had nurses in the house to take care of him, but he died.
Do you remember what he looked like?
Oh yes, yes. I have his eyes. He was a very, very nice looking man. My brother looks a lot like him.
I see. So you still have a little bit of him there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think my brother has anything, but I have a little bit of memory. I don't think my brother at 18 months would remember any of it.
Can you remember anything about his personality? Or?
Had a fiery temper. I think that's where I got mine. I remember another time he came. I was in kindergarten, and he came. I was dawdling along, walking up on the walks. You know how the banks used to have cement. And I see him coming after me because I'm late. So I didn't do that again. But that's one of the few things I remember.
That's a remarkable memory for a 5-year-old. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I think he impressed me that day.
Yeah, those things do tend to stay with you, don't they?
Right.
What kind of personality did your mom have?
My mom, she just like me. Maybe a little compulsive, but if you're going to do the one thing she told me all my life, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And I tried to live by that, and she certainly did.
You've always lived by high standards, from
Yes.
what I've noticed.
Yes.
You probably
Yes.
got that from your mom, it sounds
Yes. Well, I think if you don't set high standards, you're probably not going to do any job at all.
like. That's true.
You have to have something to attain. And I don't always attain my high standards, but they're there.
You won't enjoy your job as much if you don't
That's
have
right.
high standards.
That's right.
There's a pride of accomplishment if
Right.
if your standards are high. If
Right.
you don't care, then every day's a drudgery.
Well, I always I think most people that worked for me would tell you that I demanded more out of them than they thought they had, but they always come up with it.
Yeah, they sure did. I know Sue says that she grew a lot
Oh, yes.
under your
Oh,
tutelage.
you can't imagine how shy she was, and she just made me nervous because she was so uncomfortable, so shy. But she little started going, then you came along and you helped.
Yeah. You got her out of her shyness, and then she took it out on me.
Right.
No, I'm very proud of Sue. She's really put up with a lot, especially over the last couple of years with John.
Oh, it's been tough.
Oh, she's just, I couldn't ask for a better wife.
No, you couldn't. No.
She's great. Well, did your mom remarry?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I had a wonderful stepfather. I think I was 11 when she remarried.
Okay, what was his name?
Boyce Lee. He was named after General Lee.
Ah,
Clement.
Okay.
Clement.
so tell me about him.
Yeah, well, he was an engineer on the Southern Railway, too. I think my mother knew him before my father died,
Okay.
just as friends. But he was a hard worker. He tended to be high standard, perfectionist. The day he came home, and my mother said he went out and worked in the yard all day and everything. There wasn't a blade of grass out of shape. He went in, went to bed, and he was dead the next morning.
Oh my.
So that's the kind of atmosphere I grew up in.
Wow. Okay. I don't know, kind of tough but kind of good at the same time. It's
Oh, people used to talk about, I never missed, now I don't mean this the way you may sound, I never missed not having a father, because my mother was such a good mother.
Yeah.
I never thought I missed anything. When I saw my children with Paul, I knew that I had missed something.
Yeah.
But until that, I didn't think I had.
I can imagine that Paul was a very good father.
Yes, he
You could
was.
see that in the man. He's just
Well,
really neat guy.
he came from a family where they raised their children right, and if you don't start with kids when they're like this, and raise them, if you raise the first one right, you do pretty well with the rest.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Now you said your dad was in World War One.
Mhm.
Did he ever talk about it, or?
I don't
Was he
know.
ever-
He was in. I know he was. I think he might have been kind of bitter because I know he told my mother that he would never go to war again.
Yeah.
He was in France. I don't know what, but he wasn't happy with it. I do know that.
That was an unbelievable transformation. If you look at society the way it was at the time,
Mhm.
and then going into that war, it was such a horrible change from the neat, ordered society
Oh.
that we had.
Oh, yes.
To go through the just maddening chaos of a war like that.
And then, well, look what World War II did to us.
Oh yeah.
Most people had never been out of the county they were raised in. And World War II came along, and now nobody's been back to the county they were raised in. They're spread all over. They really are.
That's true. That's true. Now you say you have a brother?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just the one brother?
Just
or-
one brother.
Okay, and his name and what's
Joseph
becoming
Howell
of-
Mahaffey the third.
Okay.
And he worked for GE. We're very close. We just spent 3 weeks at the beach, and he's kind of different than me. He doesn't quite have my fiery temper, and I still don't understand why I can be a Democrat, but he is. My mother was a red hot Democrat. And like I told him, I didn't leave the Democrat Party, they left me.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, it's kind of like the West Nile virus. You
They
get
left
it,
me.
you don't know why.
That's right.
That's what they did to me.
I know, I didn't leave for any reason except I couldn't go along with what they'd become.
I'm the same way. I was sort of a Kennedy Democrat
Mhm.
growing
Oh, I
up.
was
and-
too.
Oh my.
When I stood over there on that road to see him go by in
Did
the
you
car.
really?
Yeah, I did.
Did he wave?
Yes. Then Ann Russell and I went out to the airport when he flew into Anderson one time. And we shook hands with him.
Wow. I saw Bobby Kennedy
Yeah.
up at Anderson
Mhm.
High School
Mhm.
in 1968, but
So,
I just missed seeing John Kennedy.
But that was about the time I parted company after John was killed. I didn't. Lyndon turned me off, and Vietnam and all that. I was just,
It was a pretty sad affair.
yes,
Those poor guys were just left out, hanging out to dry.
you bet. And that's why they're so. I can spot one just about in a minute.
Yeah, some of the fellows.
They have personalities, or they have. A lot of them have chips on their shoulders.
Yeah,
They're so mad.
and they should be.
Yes, yes.
When we've had J.R. Rosencrantz, I don't know if you know him
Oh,
or not,
yes.
here in town.
Mm.
J.R. said when he came back from Vietnam, he got here early in the morning, and he said he was glad because there weren't as many war protesters.
Mm-hmm.
And that just
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
makes me mad. Well, Asheville. Tell me about Asheville. Growing up in Asheville.
Asheville. Well, it was a wonderful town. Lots of natural beauty. The people tend to be kind to each other. I don't know about now. There's so many Yankees down there that they may not do too well. But it was just a nice, hardworking family. And they didn't, when I was growing up, they would not let any industry in. It was strictly a tourist town.
Oh, I see.
And then slowly they let some come 10 miles on the outskirts. Gerber was there and a few others, but they're all gone now.
See, now, Asheville, that's pretty close to the Smokies, isn't it?
It's in the Smokies.
Okay.
In the
It's
Smokies.
right on the edge of it.
Yes,
Sounds cool.
in the
Trying to get my
Smokies.
geography straight here. Well,
Mount
is-
Mitchell, which is the highest peak east of the Mississippi, was about 6 miles from Asheville.
Okay.
It's sort of built on a plateau. The mountains surround it,
I see.
and it's kind of flat. So they don't have much bad weather.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
They are in a drought now, but in the wintertime I call my brother and say, I hear you got snow. He said, it didn't snow here. Who said it? And I said, they said it on television. Well, it didn't.
Wishful thinking. So, what kind of things did you do as a young girl growing up in?
So I loved to
Asheville?
skate, and I rode bicycle, and went to the park to swim, and just the thing. And my mother always made me. Always had to do chores. We had a black lady, but I had to stay in the house on Saturday until the house was cleaned. I didn't go out, so we had rules.
What was your job?
Dusting, I hated it. I hated it, but.
Mine was
It was
good.
it was a wonderful childhood, and I say this, and people look at me. I wouldn't mind to go back and live any part of my life,
That's
Yeah.
good.
and I guess people look at me funny. I guess most people don't feel that way.
Oh, I always want to keep going on.
Do you?
I've enjoyed parts of my life and other parts I didn't enjoy so much, but I'm
Well,
always
mine
interested in seeing
wasn't
what's on the
all
other
happy,
side.
but I could go back and live it over.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
So, you have any kind of heroes growing up?
Heroes.
School teachers or
Oh well, I liked a lot of school teachers.
movie stars? Or?
Oh, movie stars, yes, heaven, yes. Let me see, Clark Gable and all those people. I was a great movie fan. And even after I came to Anderson, Ann Russell and I went to the movies once a week.
Ah,
But I don't go anymore. They're such garbage.
That's-
there's a few good ones out there.
I
They're hard
haven't
to
seen
find.
one lately. I haven't seen one lately.
So, what were some of your favorites?
What, movies?
Yes.
Oh, I loved Gone with the Wind. I loved any family dramas like just wholesome, romantic. I didn't care too much for comedy,
Okay.
but and historical things I liked.
Okay. So, what kind of subjects did you like in school?
History,
History.
geography, which they don't teach anymore, I don't think.
Not very well.
Mm-mm. And I wasn't wasn't a real scholar. I got by, but I had a good time. I didn't make bad grades, but I certainly wasn't valedictorian.
Where'd you go to school?
Asheville.
Okay. So Asheville had a grade school?
We had one
junior-
high school. We had two high schools, one for black and one for white.
Okay.
Do they have names?
Uh-huh.
Schools?
Lee Edwards
Names?
was the high school.
So those would have been days of segregation.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your observations on what you saw?
What I saw in segregation,
Yeah.
I guess, well, I'll give you this one incident and then you'll understand what I mean. I was always raised to respect black people.
Okay.
We always had them in our house to work. We had the lady I told you my mother hired that raised me, Elsie. If there was a storm, I'd go get in bed with her. I didn't pay attention to what color she was. It didn't bother me. And when I went in the Navy and I saw how the Yankees treated the black maids, I was horrified.
I'll be darned.
It's the first time I ever heard the word jig or any of those kind. I never heard them.
And that's funny because we've got this image of it being just the opposite.
People in the South were good to the black people. They really were. My father was kind of funny. If he was eating lunch and Elsie was cleaning around or something, if he knew she was going to want to go somewhere and get done, he'd ask her to sit down. But she would have never sat down if he didn't ask her.
I see.
He'd say, "Go ahead and get your plate, Elsie, and eat your lunch."
Well, it's an interesting twist on it.
Yeah.
I've seen the men, women in colored restrooms and the colored drinking fountains, and
Oh, yeah.
I always thought
saw
that was
those.
just so strange to me to see that
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Well, as I say, I didn't feel any of that animosity toward them. And I still like them. I just like them.
Yeah. My
They're
dad,
great people.
one of my dad's best friends at the post office was
Mhm.
a black fellow,
Hmm.
and he wanted to go to the window, work on the window, and the postmaster wasn't sure Anderson was quite ready for that. And Dad went into the office and said, "I'll work with him."
Hmm.
And because he had such a strong testimony for him, he finally relented, and well, they became good friends over the years.
Well, I've had some wonderful black people work for me. Sparky, you may have heard.
Oh yeah,
Susie.
yeah.
She worked for me for 32 years.
Oh, she was. Sue
And
loved
she
her.
never caused me one moment's problem.
Yeah.
And she'll call me up now and I can hear her laughing when I'm getting ready to say hello. And I say, "Is that you, Sparky?" She said, "Yes." But she was a great lady, lady.
Just for the record, what's her real name?
Sparky Gertha Sparks.
Gertha Sparks.
Mhm.
Okay.
She was from Alabama.
Okay.
She was a good old, what I call a Southern. She had pride, but she still was kind of. She wasn't pushy or arrogant or.
Yeah.
She was a great lady.
Yeah. Sue always thought so much of Sparky.
Yeah.
Is there any feeling in the South when you were young that if you tried a little harder, you might have won the Civil War? I mean, it was.
Oh.
What was the feeling about the Civil War back then? Because I grew up
Oh.
in the North, and
They don't like Yankees yet. I still don't like you, but I think it was the fact that we didn't have enough money. We didn't have enough. I think they were good fighters.
Mhm.
I think there just wasn't enough supplies and enough food and enough uniforms but
you get the feeling that maybe some people still harbored the idea that they could have won.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Mm-mm.
So you went to school at Asheville School.
Mm-mm.
Tell me about the school and some of the teachers and what have you.
Oh, Lord, that's so long ago, I can't remember. My brother has this great relationship with his class They still meet once a month. I mean, and my brother is 67 years old. And there'll be 90 people.
Wow.
Of course, we only had one school, so there were 470 people in my graduating class.
Okay.
And
That's big.
yes, big. Back then, that was a big school. But
You get involved in any kind of extracurricular activities?
no, I wasn't. I'm not a joiner.
Yeah.
I don't like women really in a group.
Okay.
I like them one-on-one. But I think women can be vicious, and I'm not into that stuff.
Well, coming from a guy, I can see that.
Yeah.
I understand that. They can be
No,
nice too.
I was not a joiner.
Any teachers stand out?
Not really.
They didn't make you line up and march out to the Notre Dame fight song at the end of school. Then.
No, we didn't know who Notre Dame was. No. And then I went to college one year. Went to Monterey College, which is where Billy Graham lives.
Okay.
And I could see the writing on the wall that I either would be a teacher or a nurse. That's all that was about open for women in those days.
Okay.
Well, I knew I couldn't be a teacher because there wouldn't be anybody left in the room but me when the day was over. So I said to my mother, I said, I just think I'll go be a nurse. And she said, you won't last 10 minutes. And I thought, well, I'll show her. And I did.
You've been nursing how long now?
I went in the Navy in 45. So she says, you won't last.
Did you stick it out just to spite your mom, or?
No, I loved it. And I see my daughter's a nurse too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. 3 generations of nurses.
Wow.
And I have a philosophy of a nurse. I don't think nurses are made. I think they're born.
That's true. That's true.
I've had a wonderful life. I really have. I just my days at St. John's were wonderful. They've always been extremely good to me, and have no complaints.
So when did you graduate?
I graduated from high school in '39. I graduated from training in '44.
Okay. All right. So you kept yourself busy there. Now, you wound up going in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you say to yourself, I'm going to the Navy?
Oh, I went to see a movie. What was the name of it? I can't think. And I worried myself to death that the war would be over and I wouldn't get to go.
Oh.
And it almost was. Almost was.
So could you see it coming? A lot of people were students of history, and they could see back in the 30s that this war was coming. And others,
Oh, I think yes. I used to hear my parents talk about it. That I think we all knew that it was coming, just like we know the one's coming now.
right?
Yeah, I think so. There were happy times, though. I told my children that they will never they'll never live in an atmosphere like World War II was. Nobody had any money. There weren't a lot of rich people. We all were hard workers and made a good living and had everything we needed. And people were good to each other.
Yeah. I've seen the difference just since I was a kid.
Yes,
And how people
yes.
react.
Well, I've noticed since this 9/11 that people seem to be a little kinder to each other.
Yeah.
They seem to. I always make people speak to me when I go down when I walk down the hall. I make everybody speak to me, and they seem to be more open to speaking than sometimes.
That's the thing I've noticed about these interviews. You could pass people on the street and never say a word to them, but when you sit down and talk to them, it's the most amazing thing, an amazing feeling to be able to learn about these people. They're fascinating.
That's right. People are fascinating.
And people just don't invest the time to sit down and find out who the next person is.
That's right. That's one of the reasons I like my job, because I spend one-on-one with with women who come in who think they have breast cancer. And I spend time talking to them, and they open up and tell you everything. That's why I used to like to give baths. That's when that's confession time. They'll tell you everything.
No, I never heard that.
Haven't you ever heard that? Oh,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yes. Oh, most
Oh,
nurses
boy.
would tell you that. That's when they confess.
Speaking of confession, did you go to church when you were a kid, or?
Yes, I
Okay.
was Presbyterian.
Okay.
My mother was. We went to prayer meeting and Sunday school, and yeah. And then when I went in the Navy, I met this Catholic chaplain, and I guess I wasn't real happy with my religion, or I wouldn't have looked for something else. And that was before I ever met Paul, so I was a Catholic before I met him.
I see. Yeah, I was curious about when you made the transition there.
Now I'm finding the same thing in the Catholic Church that I left the other one for. We've lost all the reverence. I used to would just be in awe of how quiet and how holy it was. And when I see mothers coming in with their short shorts with their daughters dragging behind them, I mean, it just...
That's the thing that I've enjoyed about, we have sort of a mixed marriage. I'm a Protestant and Sue's a Catholic, and I don't think I would be happy as a Catholic, and yet there's so many neat, holy places in the Catholic Church where you can go and just, it's a very different atmosphere.
Yes.
And I really enjoy.
They have a different culture. I've never been able to quite put my finger on it, but they're just different.
Yeah. Let's see. Pearl Harbor. Can you tell me about that?
Oh, yeah. I was a student nurse, and all during my training days, we never had a whole day off. For 3 years, I never had a whole day off, half a day. And this was on a Sunday morning, and I was working, and then I got on the bus to go home. I didn't know anything about Pearl Harbor. And I hear these people were whispering and talking about how terrible it was, and finally I turned around. I said, "What happened?" And they told me. That's how I found out. Because there was no radios in the hospital. There was no communication with the outside world.
Remember your reaction to it?
I was angry. Really angry. I'm still angry that people could do that. And I think they'd do it to us again if they had the opportunity.
It doesn't, I don't think it means as much to people who haven't really studied it. A lot of men died and suffered horribly.
Oh, terrible, terrible,
The
terrible.
burns and, oh my gosh, and nurses
Mm-hmm.
in those hospitals, my gosh, they just kept coming and coming and
Yes.
coming. What a nightmare that would have been.
It was, I had a patient who came off he was shot through the elbow in the Okinawa. And we could smell him. They had a train that brought them up into Portsmouth, Virginia, where I was. It was the Naval Hospital. You could smell. It was awful. He had a cast on it, and when we cut it off, it was just alive with maggots.
Oh my.
And it was gone, really, but I can't remember his first name. I was trying to ask Paul if he could remember. He had taken perfume and all this stuff and poured on it, trying to kill the odor. You can imagine on a boat.
Oh man.
And but he wouldn't let him take the arm off. And the last time I saw him, he was wearing a black glove on his hand, and he still had that arm.
I'll be darned. That's amazing.
I'm sure that he must have eventually let it go off, but he was really adamant he wasn't going to have it off.
We interviewed a fellow up in Plymouth, and this guy had a bullet go just about where the mustache area would be and come out the back of his neck. Somehow he survived that. Just an incredible wound.
Yeah.
Nursing time. Let's go back to your nurse's training.
Oh, okay.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it was tough. Well, if you can imagine, at night there was only one RN. The hospital was run by students.
My.
And we had a little cabinet, let's see, it was about 3 shelves and about that high.
Yeah.
That was all the drugs there
Yeah.
were. That's all there
Wow.
were. And they were just sitting on the floor. And in the kitchen, the morphine, the Demerol, the Dilaudid all sat there in little bottles.
Yeah.
Because you had to heat the water, the sterile water in a spoon and melt the pills.
Okay.
But nobody ever took them. They just sat there. I mean, wouldn't that be a haven today?
Oh, it would be. Had a little more discipline back
Yes,
then.
right. Well,
Common
people
sense.
just weren't druggies, I guess.
Yeah.
But they just, I've thought about that a lot of times, how strange that was.
Did you ever go into a class and say, "Oh my gosh, I don't think I can do that," or?
No. I worked about 9 months in surgery. I loved it. Sometimes the doctor would let us sew them up. Let us, we had a doctor that was a very bad diabetic, and we kept a syringe of insulin and a glass of orange juice, depending on which way he went.
Wow.
But we didn't have any doctors. All the doctors we had one lung. Doctors used to get tuberculosis, student doctors, because they worked hard and they didn't take care of themselves probably. But so many doctors came down with tuberculosis. So all the doctors we had one lung. And we'd go into surgery with two student nurses and a doctor.
Catch him when he went over.
That's right.
Wow.
But boy, I learned.
Well, here's some. My mother had tuberculosis. Tell me a little bit more about tuberculosis. How do you get it?
Tuberculosis. Well,
How do you
you just
spread it? Or?
well, see, North Carolina was the hills used to be full of sanitariums. And then there was a state one in western North Carolina, and there was one in eastern Carolina. But then there were these private places where the wealthy people came
Okay.
from all over to be taken care of and to get well. And I suppose you get run down, and if there's the bug around, and the bugs used to be a lot more prevalent than they are now. However, my daughter, who's a public health nurse, says it's coming back.
I've heard that.
Hmm
I've heard that. So it's sort of like a virus, like a
No, it's
cold,
like a
or-
bug. It's
Okay.
tuberculosis.
Okay.
It has its own little bug.
Okay.
And of course now we have drugs, but was it Bobby Job? I don't think, I know Sue knows her. She coughed all one whole winter. She was a night nurse. And I kept saying, Bobby, are you sick? No, I just got a cough. Okay. So she went to have a surgery. And they did chest x-ray, and she had a hole that big in her lung.
Oh my gosh.
So they shipped her off. That was when they still sent them up to Fort Wayne, I
Yeah,
believe. She
that's
was
where
up
Mom went.
there. I think she was up there a year.
Wow. I've never quite understood the sanitarium part. I mean, why would you go to a sanitarium?
Well, it was a thing to do.
Okay.
And it was sort of like quarantining people,
Okay.
except people went in and out. But and they used to believe that if they put them out, wrapped them up in all these clothes and put them out in the cold air, that would be good for them. And most of these sanitariums had big porches on them.
Yeah.
And rocking chairs.
Yeah.
And these people would, but you had to have money to go to the private ones. They were
Right.
very expensive. I have to tell you a funny little story. My mother was nursing a kid. I think his parents owned the Chattanooga. Is there a Chattanooga Stove Works?
I believe there is.
Well, his family owned that, and he had tuberculosis. He was about 18 years old. And they had a lot of money. Anyway, my mother came home one day with a book, and it was Gone with the Wind. And she said, I can't remember what, Dick. Dick sent this to you, but I don't know if I'm going to let you read it or not. And she said, well, maybe you can read it if you don't let anybody see you because it's got cussing in it. And I don't think you ought to read it. Oh, that was.
And what, one word in the whole
One
book?
word, yes. Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Actually, I think that we might have been ahead of it when we were a little more fearful of it.
Right.
Now it just kind of flows and like
Right.
a sewer.
Yeah, it was lots of good books, but they've all got filth in them so that they can sell them.
Yeah.
So I just skip over that stuff.
Yeah. So, Pearl Harbor, you were still in school. And when did you actually get out of school?
Got out of
Nursing
school
school.
in July of 44.
Okay. So, yeah. 39 to 44. 5 years, huh?
No, 1 year I stayed home. 1 year I went to Montreat to
Okay.
college. And then 1 year I stayed out
Okay.
trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then I went in the Navy. I think it was in January of 45.
Now you say you saw a movie and that kind of inspired you to join the Navy.
Oh, I went to. Oh, yes. I can't. I think it was Maureen O'Hara. I believe it was her. I think so.
Often said she would inspire me to do just about anything. Beautiful.
She was a pretty woman. Yes, she was.
So, how'd you wind up getting into the Navy? You went down,
I went
said,
down.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Was this in Asheville?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really remember very much about it, except I remember getting my orders that I was to report to Portsmouth, which at that time was where they sent all new nurses. That's where they had their orientation.
Okay.
And it was a pretty old hospital. It looked like the Civil War. Had big columns in front on the Elizabeth River. It was pretty.
Yeah.
We went back. Paul and I were married on the base.
Okay.
And we went back about 10 or 15 years ago. Oh, made me sick. I knew exactly what Thomas Wolfe meant when he said you can't go home again.
Yeah.
It was, they had torn the chapel down, and it was the grasses. I mean, it was just awful.
That's too bad. So, did you spend all your service years here in the States?
Mm-hmm.
And was it all at Portsmouth, or did you?
No, I went to Houston, Texas.
Okay. Well, that's quite a range there.
Well, in the Navy, you had to be old and ugly to get overseas. In the Army, so the girls that went in the Army at the time I went in the Navy were overseas in no time.
Wow.
But the Navy was very protective of their nurses.
So, what kind of boot camp did you go through as
Oh,
a nurse?
just little marching. That
Yeah.
was it. Not much besides. Of course, we were trained to be nurses. We knew all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything except I remember marching.
Yeah. Did you handle any weapons?
No.
Just a big long needle on
Just a
occasion.
big long needle. Right.
Did you have any training that would be related to going to sea at all, or?
If
So,
you were
straight
going to
nurse.
get, well, see, the Navy had 2 hospital ships,
Okay.
and that was pretty choice duty. Everybody wanted that, so the older people got that.
Okay.
And then most of the Navy bases were on the ground,
Okay.
for the hospitals where they took care of patients.
What were the names of the hospital ships? Do you remember?
The Hope and it's another 4-letter word. I can't think.
I seem to remember the Hope when I was a kid. It was still it was used by the UN or something.
Yes.
Went around the world as a hospital ship.
Mhm. I'll
Napoleon,
get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long were you in Portsmouth?
About 9 months.
Okay. From Portsmouth, you went to Houston.
Hmm.
Was Houston as lovely as Portsmouth?
I don't like Texas. I won't even fly over it if I can help it.
People generally have a strong reaction to Texas one way or the other.
It's not my cup of tea.
Can you describe Houston?
Houston was the fastest growing city in the country at that time. But there was maybe 2 stores, a dirt road, dirt streets.
Yeah.
It was not so, but it changed pretty quick.
Kind of wonder why Houston grew.
Well,
We were in Houston, the fastest growing city in America.
that's right, it was. I went back later, went to a nurses meeting there, and I was appalled at God, it's huge, big.
But you can't even find the place anymore.
No. Well, I think there were 2 hotels in that town
Wow.
at that time. And there was 1 department store, and I know we were in there one time, and these Texas oil men, cowboys were in there with mud all over their boots, throwing money. And then there was a place where people gambled out in Galveston.
Okay.
Went way out in the... And we went out there one night, and these people were just throwing money around. It was unbelievable. Gambling.
Oh my.
I don't know if I doubt if that place is in existence anymore, but Galveston was a pretty tourist town.
It's on the Gulf,
On
isn't
the
it?
Gulf,
Okay.
yes.
Can you describe the facilities that you were working at in
Texas?
Houston? Yeah.
Well, they were building a new hospital, so we were in a kind of a barracks type place.
Okay.
And then when they got it built, the war was over, and who'd they give it to or sell it to? Knowing the government, they probably gave it to somebody. I think it became a regular hospital,
Okay.
but I don't think the Navy ever used it.
Were you any place besides Houston?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. I got married and they threw me out.
Ah. So you couldn't be married in the
In
military.
the height of the war, they would throw you out if you got, and as badly as they needed nurses, you could not be in.
It's hard to believe. Wow.
Could not be. So that's why I got out of the Navy. I would have stayed. I would have made a career of it. I loved it.
So who were some of the people that you worked with in the Navy?
Who were they? Oh, well, this one girl, you would probably find this totally fascinating. You may want to go out. She was a lot like me. She looks like me. And she was from Louisiana. And we both got out of the Navy, and she got married to a doctor. He was a pediatrician. And she called me up. She was down south. He had a brother or somebody down there, and they'd been to a meeting. And that was in 55. And about a month later, the last polio crisis on the East Coast,
Right.
she was stricken with polio, and she was paralyzed from down.
Oh my
Do
gosh.
you know that this lady is still living?
Is she really?
She's the oldest living polio victim in the country.
Oh wow.
And I guess the reason Lily's alive is because Jack made enough money to see that she was taken care of. But she's either in a rocking bed or a respirator. She still can't breathe.
Oh my gosh.
But you'd never know it. You'd never know it.
Huh.
She was a convert to Catholicism and a very, very devout Catholic. And she lays in bed. She's made rosary records, and she's always doing something. And I used to wonder, and I think in the back of her mind, she's always thought somebody was going to invent something and get her out of that bed. Because she wrote me one time and wanted to know if I'd heard anything about them doing studies at IU for transferring muscles and nerves. And I knew right then that Lily had always thought somebody was going to. But it's remarkable she's still living.
I've never heard of anybody stricken that severely with polio. I've seen the kids with braces and
Oh no, when
That sort of thing.
it's called Bell Bar. It's when it hits you above the waist. I think with a brace she can ride a little bit, but she has nurses, and she had to have gallbladder surgery. Now you can imagine.
Oh, my.
She sent me the paper. She was in the magazine section of the Boston. All the stuff they had to do to get everything ready to safely try to get this girl. And she recovered with flying colors. And
Quite a testimony.
she lives on Cape Cod now, but the last time I heard from her, she said she thought maybe it was getting too risky in the winter for her to be out there because the lights do go off. I'm sure they've got a generator, but so I don't know if they've moved inland or not. But she was a funny girl.
I'd like to get that story.
Oh, I bet you would.
That's quite a story. My
Well, we
word.
might take up a collection and send you out there. Lily would talk to you, I tell
We're
you.
ready to go.
Mm.
Wow.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't done something like that since she's the oldest living.
It is. I mean, it's polio is just, you just don't hear of it anymore. But
Mhm.
as kids, I remember getting all the tests for it.
Oh, I remember one year we couldn't go to. We were getting ready to go to my mother's on vacation, and they wouldn't let us go down there. They'd cordoned off the whole place.
Wow.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't. I
That
don't remember
was
that.
like, that was probably 49, 50.
I've been 1 year old.
Well, you won't remember it then. You won't remember it.
So who were some of the other folks that you served with?
Oh dear, well, this one girl I went through training with went in the Navy with me, and that's interesting you would ask me this. She got married and lived in Connecticut for a while, and then she lived in Key West, and we always kept in touch. And then I knew her husband died. And I could tell by the note she wrote on the Christmas card that she was pretty despondent. And so then I didn't hear from her for about 4 years, 3 or 4 years, and I really thought something terrible had happened to her. And she didn't have much family, so I didn't know how to contact anybody.
Right.
This past, not long before we went to the beach, she wrote me a long letter and said that she'd been very ill, but she decided it was time that she get her life together because she really had not done well, but she was in the hospital 5 months. Now you know how sick she must have
That's a
been.
long time.
5, I said, Francis, are you sure? And I couldn't believe, she looked like she was probably 20 years older than I am. I mean, she'd really aged terribly. I couldn't believe it was her. So I went to see her when I was home. She was living in Greenville, which is just down the mountain from Asheville. So we got to see each other.
So how's she doing now?
She's doing better. She's doing much better. My brother had gone down to see her when I first got the letter to check on her, and he was amazed at how much better she looked. It'd been a couple of months since he'd been down there.
We come up with 2 good ones. Anyone else that stands out?
Oh, and they're about the only ones I've kept in contact with.
Did you go around saluting people? And
Oh, yes. Yes, you had to do that.
I just wondered how disciplined that sort of thing was in
Oh.
a medical situation.
Oh, no, you saluted. Yeah, I mean, if you were walking down the compound, 5 people came at you, you saluted.
Can you remember the salute?
Mm.
Ah, good one.
I love to see Mr. Bush salute.
Yes.
I hated it when Mr. Clinton did because he hated the military and
Yeah,
then
he knew
he'd
what he was
salute
doing.
those people.
He did it for the
Make me
cameras.
so mad.
Yeah, he's another one that kind of drove you away from the party.
Yes. Oh, he would drive me away, I tell you.
So what about your officers? You feel like you had pretty good officers in the...
Oh yes, we had a Commander Bunty who was. Now they have an admiral, I think, head of the nurse corps.
Yeah.
But Commander Bunty was a high rank in those days.
Okay.
They didn't give women high ranks.
Yeah.
And we had this big dining room, and she took pretty good care of us. Yeah, she did.
What about the patients that you...
Patience. I was just telling Paul, I renewed my memory. We got a lot of patients off the Franklin. Do you remember the
Oh, yes.
Was kamikaze?
Yes, we got a fellow down in Texas who was on the Franklin. You remember the famous picture of the priest? He was just right off camera on that.
Well, we got a lot of burns, terrible burns, and I have often wondered, we had this stuff called Ludwig's solution, and it was named for one of the Navy doctors. He made it up. It was glycerin and vinegar, and I can still smell the stuff. And we used to bandage them all up and pour this warm solution on them. And you wouldn't believe how those people healed.
Really?
Hardly any scars.
Wow.
And I wondered why we didn't use it. Somebody didn't pick it up.
Well, we use it now.
That's right. I mean, they didn't have any skin grafts. I mean, these people, when you'd cut the dressings off of them, I can't remember, but they kept them on 3 or 4 days, and then you changed them. And I can understand how it works.
Right.
The glycerin would give you a certain amount of lubrication, and probably the vinegar would be like a debreeder.
Well, we don't.
But it was called Dr. Ludwig's solution.
You need to show this to some burns people and
Right.
say, hey, they
Right.
had something that worked really well back
Yeah.
then. Amazing. Do you did you interact much with the patients? Was it just treat them and go? And...
Oh, you couldn't. I mean, you weren't allowed to date enlisted personnel.
What kind of stories did you get out of these
People.
fellows?
Oh, not too many.
Did they
No.
talk too much, or they
No.
just hurting too much to?
Well, most of them were hurt pretty bad, and I think at that point they were so glad to be home that they just wanted to push it out of their mind.
How'd they treat you?
Oh, well, I have to tell you this one story. The first morning that I went to my ward, that was going to be my ward.
Right.
And here I am, 21 years old, and I walk in, and there are 40 sailors looking at me.
Yeah.
And they could see the braid on my cap. They knew I was a new one, but they didn't treat me bad. Except one was funny. I looked up, and all of a sudden, and all the mattresses were going up. And they were getting their bell bottoms out. That's how they pressed them. They were going on leave.
There's a story. We hadn't heard that one.
Well, that's where they kept them. That was their press.
Well, Jean Wilson told us that she had the biggest trouble with the people who had prosthesis. They would leave them at the hospital because when they go out, and they get a little chance to go out, they get all kinds of sympathy. So they can go to a bar and everybody buy them drinks,
Well,
and
that's
taxi
probably
cab
so.
drivers are driving
Yeah.
everywhere.
Mhm.
So they had to really get on their case to make them take them with them.
Well, that was one thing I think that the Vietnam veteran hated or really got in there. Because when Paul came back from the service, he couldn't buy a drink. He could not buy a drink. And I don't think they ever did that for the guys in Vietnam.
Yeah, they didn't.
Mm-mm.
Called them dirty names instead.
That's right. That's right.
Baby killer and all that.
It was terrible.
Not good.
Terrible.
You said you met a priest in service who really led to your conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about him and maybe
Oh,
why
he
he
was-
was such an influence.
He was just, well, the first thing he influenced me was because you could talk to, in my day, pastors of churches sort of, you weren't comfortable talking to them. You weren't quite sure. I mean, they just weren't. And he was funny, and I'd go over and he'd say, take off your shoes and your cap, and I'll pour us a little glass of wine, and we'd just sit and talk about the church.
Ah,
And then when we'd been doing that for quite several weeks, I told him one day, I said, I'm ready to be baptized. And I thought my mother would get really mad. And all she said to me was, well, you're not too good a Protestant, maybe you'll be a better Catholic. That's all she said to me, and that was the end of that.
That's funny. That's funny. Paul told me this wild story about how he met you.
Yes, it was wild.
Let's have some equal time here. What's your side of the story?
Well, it's not quite what he heard, because I've heard his side of it. I was at the officers club with a Navy flyer, and I noticed this guy kept looking at me, and
Was this in Portsmouth?
uh-huh,
Okay.
at the officers club, and then one of the waiters came over and handed me this note on a matchbook, I think. Said he was up the way and he wanted to know if he could call me, and if I could give him my phone number. So I did, but I've got the things downstairs to prove this too. He must have called me 40 times and I was never home. And finally he left the message and said that he was going to call one more time, and he gave me a time, and that if I wasn't there then he wouldn't bother me anymore. So I stayed and talked to him.
Worked out.
Yeah.
So love at first sight, or just kind of grew into
No,
it?
not really.
I saw his picture. He's a handsome fellow back then.
Yes, he was.
Doggone.
Yes, he was a good-looking guy.
You both thought he looked like Tony Dow on that.
My daughter
Wall.
thought she looked like John. Oh, I can't think of his name. John. Can't remember.
Yeah.
He was an old movie star.
Okay.
John. Won't come. It'll come about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
Well, you give me a call.
Okay. So,
Anyway. So, how long did you date before you finally got married?
well, we dated about 9 months, and I went to Houston,
Okay.
but we had already set a date to get married.
Yeah.
So I went down there, and then I came back, and we got married, and then I went there and stayed 2 weeks, and they threw me out.
Oh, my. So what kind of a proposal was it?
Oh, Paul?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I really don't. I don't remember. We lived on the Portsmouth Navy Yard in quarters that were probably Civil War, maybe,
Oh, my.
but they were very nice. They were big brick and huge rooms and high ceilings, and
Mm.
he had that all by himself till we got married. 4 bedrooms, I think.
Wow. Pretty big.
Pretty big.
Did you have how'd you feel toward him being a Guadalcanal vet? Did you have a sense of, I don't know, any kind of a hero worship or an extra level of respect because of where they'd done?
Oh well, I think that I respected people that were that had given their all, and I know he did, because he really should not be alive. He had so many close calls,
He
and
did.
the guy that relieved him on Guadalcanal was killed the next day.
It's just, it's amazing any of them were able to stay onto that island. The Japanese had a superior naval force and could easily have
He
overrun them.
We've enjoyed Ollie North's program on Sunday night. Do you ever see him?
I see that on occasion.
Yeah,
It's a good program.
they're good programs, but Paul had a certain amount of trauma. He had trouble sleeping. I never got up with my children because he was a little creaked like that and he was awake.
Yeah.
So he usually got up with them because I was a sound sleeper, and I said, no point in either both of us being up walking around.
It'd be a tough thing to get over.
Yeah.
What about
Well,
fireworks? Did he shy away from fireworks and
No,
stuff like that?
no. But he never talked much about, I learned more from that. I know one time, how old are you? I'm trying to think who was general manager at Delco.
Let's see, I'm 51, so
It would be a long time ago.
let's see. Jim Alt.
No, it's
back
before him.
Ed Zaper.
No,
It's
before
April.
him.
Ed Zaper. White.
No, he was after.
Not White. No.
It's an old
Wilson?
family here, huh?
Wilson.
No. Anyway,
Oh, I'd know it if I heard it.
he came in one day and somebody introduced me to him. He said, "Oh, is your husband Paul Loftus?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, he had the Loftus Raiders." Well, I never heard anything about that. So I came home and he said, "Yeah." And that was the end of that conversation.
Oh, they're Loftus Raiders.
Loftus Raiders, right.
Huh? I don't think he mentioned that.
I don't think he did either.
No.
Mm.
So where did he come up with Loftus Raiders? Just
I as I say, he's never explained it to me, but this, I can't think, what was his name? Big GM family.
Morrison?
Mm. He just died not too long ago. He lived a long time.
C.E. Wilson.
Wasn't C.E.
Kettering.
Probably a friend of C.E. Wilson's because he was
Yeah.
pretty old. I can't think of his name. Though.
I'd
You'd know
it.
him.
I'd
Yeah,
know it if
you'd
I
know
heard
him.
it. I would.
Yeah.
So, what was the toughest case you think you saw? With that guy with the arm?
Well, that was a pretty heartbreaking one because that was just devastating to him.
Yeah.
And most of them were like the burns. To this day, I never like to take care of burns, but that wasn't too bad. I wish somebody knew what that solution was.
Yeah.
But we had you have your hypochondriacs and your what did they call them when they wanted to get off duty, out of duty? I know they had this one. His name was Singleton. I remember him, and he let them operate on 3 levels of his back, and we all knew that there was nothing wrong. And when he
Gosh.
used to go on leave on the weekend, we'd say, "Okay, Singleton, when you get out the gate, you can pick up your suitcase." Pick up your suitcase. He was a flyer, and I bet you every hair in my head, he ended up with disability, full disability,
Mhm.
because they touched his back. And you can't prove that. Once you cut on him while that's exactly what he was after.
Oh, they are.
Saw quite a bit of that.
Yeah. I can imagine these guys would do odd things to get out of it. It had to be so horrible.
Mhm.
I've heard of ones that just said, I don't care. If they shoot me, I go home. If they kill me, same difference. I don't care.
Right.
I've seen so much.
Still a big shadow.
Let's see if we can get a little more.
Getting dark.
Just a little bit.
They want to take the light over away from them. A little farther.
Mm.
Looks pretty good.
Okay.
Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, that works.
Looked like I'm in a hole.
So you wound up getting out of service
Mm-hmm.
because you were married.
Mhm.
Paul was still in service. So you've followed this Marine around all over the place. Did
Well,
you?
not really. We got out. We got out in 46, 47. And then he was called back in the Korean War for 2 years. And I think he might like to have stayed, except Susan came home from school one day and she said, "I'll never see any of these people again." And because some of them were leaving and I think that made him think he didn't want to do that.
Yeah. to be kind of tough for fellows who've been through World War II, and then this Korean thing pops out.
Yeah,
It'd be awful hard to get motivated to go back to war again.
that's right. And Mark was just born. He was, well, I think he was about, Paul left in October. No, I went out there. I think Mark was about 5 months old when he left. So that wasn't very much fun either.
Now I can imagine. So you have the two children,
Mm-hmm.
Susan and Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Susan was born,
Susan was born in 47.
okay,
Mark was born in 51.
okay. Same year I was born. What day?
October 24th.
October 24th. You're just a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
Just by
So
a few
anyway,
weeks.
but then we came back, and I'm glad. I'm not sorry we didn't stay.
Um, so where did you lived in Portsmouth?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but he didn't move around all that much. It was
No,
pretty
no,
much
no,
out of there.
no.
So how in the world did you wind up in Anderson?
Well, he had always worked at General Motors in the summertime while he went to college. He had a job.
Okay.
And then when he got out of the service, he had a job here. And this was his home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He
Yeah,
came
this
from here.
was his home. So we,
Did you ever ask yourself how in the world did I ever wind up?
I
in Anderson?
took my children to Dr. Ross. Do you remember Dr.
Oh
Ross?
yeah, took my tonsils out.
And I walked in and we talked a minute, and he said something about where was I from, and I told him, and he looked at me and he said, "What are you doing here? Leave that beautiful Asheville and you end up here." And I said, "Well, it's okay." And I didn't like it for a long time, but I after about 5 years, I decided that these people were pretty nice people.
Yeah.
Took me that long though. And
It's
of course,
quite
I
an
didn't
adjustment.
work then, and I was kind of isolated a little bit. I never really intended to work. I was going to be Betty Crocker.
Yeah.
And Ann Russell called me one day, and she said, "Oh, come on, do private duty." And my kids were both in school then, because I had made my mind up I was never going to leave them with babysitters. And so the first case I had was 7 days a week, 5 weeks. And she had told me, "Oh, you can work a couple days, then you need to be off."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Then I nursed a Mr. Asimo in Alexandria. Did you ever hear of him?
No.
He had the junkyard. He was a Russian Jew.
Oh my.
And I nursed him for 2 years. Took him to Henry Ford Hospital and broke his hip, and
You didn't break his hip, did you?
no. He was a character. He raised ponies. He was he used to say this, so I'm not being disrespectful when I say it. He used to say, "I'm a funny Jew." He said, "I've got farms and ponies." He said, "What Jew do you know?" It's in that kind of business. He was funny, and he used to have this big Cadillac, and we'd go up to Upland. That's where his ponies were. And he'd make me drive right out in the middle of the pasture, and they'd come up and start chewing on the car. You know how ponies are. And then he'd say, "Well, let's go. We're surrounded by ponies." I said, "How much?" He said, "Just go. If they don't get out of the way, we kill them." He was funny. He was an education, I'll tell you. He came to this country broke. He got married, and he and Ann were going back to Russia when they had $10,000. Well, they didn't go, and he died with millions, but lawyers got most of it because his kids fought over his money.
Isn't that awful?
Yes,
I see.
yeah.
It was Ted
And he
Williams
used to tell me, he'd say, "You wait, Dolly." He always called me Dolly. "You just wait, Dolly. You'll see what they do."
Yeah.
So the dirty lawyers will get my money, and that's exactly what happened to it.
Oh, darn. That's a shame. Now, or the government.
Paul, what's his name? Paul. He's dead. Shrinker.
Okay.
Paul Shrinker.
Paul Schrager, yeah.
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 That was the lawyer.
Um,
But Ben was a funny man.
How'd you meet Ann Russell?
And well, Jim is Paul's cousin,
Okay.
but that's not the reason I met them. I met them down at the KC.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were just bosom friends from then on.
Yeah.
I never have a day that I don't think about her. She used to whistle all the time. I still occasionally hear myself listening for her whistle.
Yeah.
She was a hard-working girl and a good nurse.
Sue thought a lot of her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And what was it? Vivian that lived across the street from us on Phillips Drive there. There
Well,
was-
Ann used to live on Phillips Drive.
Okay, Ann, and then I think who moved into the house? There were Russells in that house. But I never quite made the connection on.
Yeah,
how they were
well, the
related.
Russells, they didn't live there too long. They lived across the road.
Okay.
Oh dear, I think they were long gone before you and Sue got married.
Yeah, they weren't there.
Mm-mm.
There were some other Russells there, and I can't remember their first names for anything.
And
Vivian sounds right to me. Vivian, and I can't think of his name.
uh,
Broke my heart when they came. They took him one night. He had fallen or something, and you just knew that it was the last time he was going to be in his house.
yeah, I
Wound up in a
know.
nursing home. And,
Yeah,
oh, I
that's sad.
came home, sat down, and cried.
Mm.
I just didn't want to see that happen. He was such a nice fellow.
Well, you just never. That's what usually happens. They break their hip, and well, to go back to when I was in training, we didn't used to even fix hips.
Oh, really?
No, people stayed in traction,
Okay.
and
A long
they
time.
usually forever.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the only, but there was none of the hip, none of the bone stuff that we have now.
The pins and the,
No.
all that.
No.
What are some of the other things that amaze you about medicine and how it's changed over the years?
Well, the cataracts are the biggest thing that I can just tell you. Well, I've had both my eyes done, and it's marvelous. I've got 20/20 vision,
That's great.
and so it's Paul.
Wow.
But they used to take the cataract out, but that's all they did.
Yeah.
And then they'd end up with these, I call them Coke bottle glasses. They were about as thick as a Coke bottle.
I like these.
Oh, no, about three times thicker than that. And, that and the amount of medicine there is, I think. I think maybe people take too much medicine.
Yeah, I kind of wondered, too much medicine?
Well, the thing that really, there's several things that frighten me about some of these older people. If you can't, some of them don't even take the medicine right. You don't even know what they're taking.
Yeah.
And I think that's worse than not taking it at all. And if the medicine, I've seen them come in with a grocery bag full of medicine from 5 different doctors.
Oh my.
Oh, they'll go to one doctor and they'll get a bunch of medicine, and then they keep taking it. And the doctor they went to didn't know they had it.
Yeah, how can you keep track of it anyway? Huh?
You can't. It's bad.
Look at all that stuff that John takes. I think, how in the world does he keep track of all that?
Uh,
It's a chore.
yeah, it's bad. That and, like we used to do appendectomies and we used to do thyroidectomies and all those things. Don't do those anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Tonsils?
Once in a while we'll probably have about 10 tonsils in the spring. But I think, I guess it's with, they used to always do tonsils and adenoids. I never hear anything about adenoids anymore, and they used to be such a aggravation to children.
I always kind of wondered why you had tonsils if they were just there to be taken out.
I don't know.
I have no idea
Well,
what the tonsils did.
I still think they were a filter.
Yeah.
like a lymph gland.
Sure.
But no, I don't know. But I've had marvelous time at St. John's, and it's been. I was going down the hall yesterday morning, and this man turned around and saw me, and he hollered, and he said, "God, I'm seeing you forever, Miss Starks." And I said, I didn't correct him. He said, I stayed on your floor for 35 days, and you see this scar right down here?
Ah.
Dr. Starks did that.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I'm getting ready to have a new hip put in. And I said, oh, really? I said, who's going to do it? And she said, Dr. Sertani. And I said, well, he's a good one. I'm glad you got him. But I didn't have a clue who I was talking to.
Oh, you're quite well known around
Not
here.
a clue.
Quite well known. You said that you saw, lined up along the road here to see Kennedy, and you shook hands with him at the airport. So
Right.
It must have been pretty exciting times.
Oh, it was. I thought he was wonderful. I've been totally disillusioned. But
Okay, what was wonderful about it?
about him,
Young, good looking, Catholic. I mean,
good
what-
looking. Well, I think he was. I think he was such a change from whatever we'd had.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I even paid much attention to what he was talking about. I wasn't into my politics like I am now. I
Yeah.
know them all now. But
Do you remember where you were on November 22nd, 1963?
yes, I sure do. I sure do. I was at work on First Center. That's where corporate offices are now.
Okay.
And I was going down a hall, and this kid hollered. He said, "Hey, the president's been shot." And I said, "No, he hasn't." And I went in and I looked, and I said, "Yes, he has been shot."
That was quite a shock. The nation just stopped.
And I still am not. I still haven't come to grips with the fact that I think it was done. I think he was assassinated. I don't think he was shot. I think they planned to kill him.
Not sure exactly who. There's so many different.
Yes, different
Scenarios
stories.
there, but-
Right. But I don't think Oswald did it alone.
I've never felt that.
Yeah.
I know very few people who really do. Now the Warren Commission came out and said, "Yeah, that's it."
Oh, well, sure. They would say whatever was politically correct, and
Yeah.
that was the answer they needed.
That's the answer they needed. You just, well, okay. Looking at the wounds that he had, does it make sense to you that he was shot from behind? Or?
No, there was somebody on that hill.
Okay.
I've always thought that.
Yeah.
He may have shot from there, but somebody else shot too. And they said he was a very poor shot. Well, like Paul said, that's a pretty long distance to shoot somebody.
Yeah, two good opinions there. One a medical opinion, and one somebody who knows the weaponry.
Yeah,
The average person would know that.
right.
Either one.
And I think, what's his name? Who was the guy that got shot?
Ruby. Or
Ruby. I think he was in on it too. I think the whole thing was
a
corruption.
little too convenient there. He
right.
just walked in
Right.
and shot the key.
Just walk. We were stopped by Paul's mother's while we'd been to mass, and we were looking at the television. He just walked in and shot him.
Oh, that was weird.
Well, they
The
didn't
whole
want.
world
They
was
didn't
black and
want
white
him
right then.
talking.
The whole world was just black and white. It was just strange for
Right.
those several days.
Right.
If it happened today, I don't know if there'd be that big of a fuss made over it.
I don't know either.
It's just something that was different about the president back then.
Well,
The office of the president, for that matter.
I think we're getting it back.
Yeah.
I think George Bush is terribly popular. His rating went back to 71 today,
Oh, did it?
and that's pretty high for anybody who's been in office as long as he has.
There was a very definite change in the atmosphere when he went up and took that oath of office. There was a man who appreciated his country, appreciated the office.
Well, he's such an honest. He's so sincere, and they said he had practiced the speech that he's given tonight. his wife said. He'd practiced it so many times because he didn't want to cry.
Yeah. Yeah. That says a lot for the fellow.
Yeah.
A lot. So, just give me the signal. We got 2 minutes left on this tape.
Didn't want to cry.
So it's been a year since 911, since that disaster.
That has been on my mind terribly. I really worry, like people with kids like you've got, what kind of world do they have? Don't you worry about that?
Well, considering the circumstances right now, we've got one crisis at a time to get through, but
Yeah.
it's still, I don't know. I guess I'm more of an optimist than I should be, maybe.
I wish, well,
I see a tough world, I see a tough changing moral standards, but things can only get so far until people rebel and say, wait a minute,
gotta come
I don't
back.
want to live like that.
Right. Well, there's so many drug heads in this country, so many people that don't think straight.
Yeah.
And the young people are, I just think they're disgraceful. Teenagers, I just really do.
Yeah.
They're disrespectful. They have no respect for anything or anybody.
They seem a little rougher and a little more wild than they have, and yet there's still that core of kids that are just wonderful.
I'm sure there are. I just never see them.
They're hard to find sometimes.
I just never see them, and I get really, really disturbed.
Yeah, but just talking about how I used to be able to just get on your bike and go anywhere you
Just
wanted.
go anything, do it. You know, it was just, well, I guess there's so many dangers out there, and these people that pick up and molest little girls, just drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah, I've thought of a few punishments for them, and they're not the kind punishments that they get.
No. Like that guy out there in San Diego. Of course, I think the parents have a little bit of stuff to answer for. Their lifestyle was not what it should have been. They'd been home with that little girl anyway. So, I don't know.
She would have been taken.
It's,
So you've had probably some pretty interesting doctors over the years that you've worked with.
oh, yes. Yes. Oh, my favorite was Dr. Starks. I've got his picture over my desk. And we always had a pact that when we got old, we'd leave an ampule of morphine by the bed. And he died and left me, so here I am, I'll just have to suffer.
Oh, God.
So I look up that every morning and I said, what'd you leave me for?
Yeah, he's a good guy, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. But all my old friends are gone.
Yeah.
Dr. Stinson retired again on me. And young doctors have no sense of humor. They can't laugh at them. Dr. Matheson can laugh at himself. And but most of those young doctors, they won't even speak to you in the hall, even if you make them.
Now that's funny because you would think that the younger guys would be more casual and free-flowing.
Well, I think they are casual. They're, I always say that a doctor, when he gets out of medical school and gets his degree, all he has is a license to learn. He doesn't know much.
Ah, that's a good philosophy.
He doesn't know much. And I remember one time Dr. Gayhammer and I got in a terrible fight over experience. He said that it wasn't important. Well, and then about later on, he should have never left me wide open with this one. He turned around and said something. He said, well, you know, in my experience, I said, what are you talking about? That doesn't mean anything.
You have a good memory.
No, I remember things he said, yes, indeed. But Had some good doctors, but as I say, my old friends are all gone.
Some of the nurses you've worked with?
Oh, lots of them. Belinda and Mary.
Yeah.
You knew them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I never see them. We're in the same building, and I never see them. They're busy, and I'm busy when I'm there.
Did you ever work with Terry Sluter?
Oh, Terry used to work for me.
Okay, I didn't know she worked directly for you or just...
She's a nice girl.
Oh, isn't she wonderful?
Do you know where she is?
They're up in Novi, Michigan.
Oh, really?
And they've got 3 boys. One of them is in college. The other one is just about ready to graduate. They had one with cystinosis.
I knew that they had one that was sick.
And thought they would lose him years ago. But he's coming along strong, and they've made great strides along that. And he just may wind up being the healthiest one of the group.
That's strange. What'd
It's
they
just
do for him?
Just a miracle. They fought very hard against the establishment, and were those few parents that are involved in that joined together. They went to the pharmaceutical companies and said, hey, we need some help. They found some doctors who were interested in doing research on it and helped them, and it's just been a hard struggle. He's taken a lot of medicines, had a lot of surgeries. But it's,
What causes that?
it seems to be a genetic thing.
I wondered if it wasn't.
Blue-eye blind
Mm-hmm.
gets together, and it seems to be a genetic thing that comes out of that. But he's growing now, and they didn't think he was going to grow.
How old is he?
He must be, I think he's just about John's age. He must be about 13.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Oh,
My sister used to work at St. John's.
okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Hilda Jones.
Now that name rings a bell, but I can't put a face with her. Was she a nurse?
Yeah,
Where'd
Yeah.
she work?
I don't know.
Mm.
Then there was Marilyn Alexander. That was a long time ago. She hadn't been nursing for about 15 or 20 years.
That name sounds familiar too, but I can't put a face with it.
And then there was my sister. Both of them have had cancer and had both breasts removed.
Oh, really?
Hilda Jones and Linda Harper. But my youngest sister, Linda Harper, she wasn't a nurse. She just worked as a receptionist type thing for just a little while.
Your sisters that had the cancer, did they go to St. John's for their mammograms?
Mm-hmm.
I probably know them.
Yeah.
How long ago did they happen?
Well, my youngest sister was just last year,
Hmm.
and my other sister was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, I bet I know both of them then. Yeah, sure I do.
How does working in the women's center compared with orthopedics?
Oh, well, see, the thing that happened to orthopedic nursing, I loved it, and I would still be there. But they won't let you get people well. There's no satisfaction. If you look at a nurse today, she's got a glazed look. Because a patient may come in today, she may not even know their name. And they've shipped them off to a nursing home or somewhere. And I used to see people come in that were either going to die or they were in a bad wreck and probably were going to die. And you kept them long enough to get well, they became somebody to you. And you had satisfaction that you had done something for somebody.
Even if they didn't survive, at least
That's
you did
right.
something to make them feel a little better.
Right, at least you had tried. But they don't. The nurse doesn't have that anymore.
Because of the insurance?
Insurance, they won't let them stay.
It's pretty sad.
It is.
When John was born, poor little girl had a baby, and they hustled her out of the hospital that day
Oh, I know it.
because they didn't have insurance. I felt so sorry for that kid.
When Susan was born, when we came to Anderson, there was not an OB man in this town. So I had a friend that I'd been in the Navy with who was a doctor who had a friend in Indy, Dr. Quigley. So I went down there to him, and she was born at St. Vincent's.
Okay.
I stayed in the hospital 10 days. I came home in an ambulance from Indy. Isn't that wild?
That is.
My mother came up and stayed with me, and I didn't go up and down the basement steps for 4 weeks. Did nothing.
Oh, things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be.
But there again, I think they've gone too far the wrong way. I think what I had was wrong. Maybe. I know that I never had, but when these girls have a baby and come home and start scrubbing floors, that's not right.
No.
That uterus didn't get stretched for 9 months and go back in 5 minutes.
Right.
And that's what's happening.
I wonder if there are other medical problems that show up years later as a result of that.
Oh, I see an awful lot of girls, young girls, getting hysterectomies.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised that doesn't have something to do with it, because that doesn't make good sense.
No, it doesn't.
And like I never had any kind of female problems ever, but I was well taken care of. Then when Mark was born, I stayed in the hospital a week, I think. But I think we'll swing back a little bit. We went too far that way.
Yeah.
And I know that money was wasted. General Motors asked for most of it. They didn't make people be responsible for part of their health. They should have never given them complete coverage.
Right.
And it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks. And so then they just cut it all off and went that way, and now they're really neglecting people, I think. I think it would be better for somebody to stay in the hospital 2 more days than to go to a nursing home for 6 weeks.
Oh, I would think so.
Well, that's what's happened. That's
Make all
what
the difference
happened.
in the world.
Yeah.
Did you know Dr. Neal?
Oh, I loved him. Yes, he delivered Mark.
Well, now this is going to be good because he delivered me and I know nothing about the man. Tell me about the doctor who delivered me.
Well, he came to town, and he was like a breath of fresh air because, as I say, we didn't have an OB doctor. Dr. Jarrett was here, but he wasn't board certified. Dr. Neal was the kind of doctor that if you went in his office and he'd have 20 people in his office, and you went in the door, he'd talk as long as you needed to talk.
Wow.
And every patient he had loved him, and he was an absolute fanatic about weight gain. Oh, these women that come in there just be panicked to get on those scales because he would really chew you out.
Can you describe him? Physical description?
He was kind of tall with dark hair, not handsome, but not unattractive.
Right.
Nice personality. He had several children, I think. His wife died before he did, I think. He was a good doctor, had good practice.
Well, I only saw him for a few seconds, and that was 51 years ago. So.
I don't remember how long ago
I do remember he hit me though.
did he? Swatted you, whack. You don't remember that?
But I bet I'm right.
I bet he probably did. Probably did.
Oh, you mean handprint's still there?
Oh my.
He's polite enough not to show it to anybody. So you think medicine has a bright future or a dim future?
It's pretty dim right now. I would not encourage any child to go into medicine.
And that's tough because so many baby boomers are getting up to where they need a lot of medical care.
Well, I don't think they're treating the doctors right. I don't think it's. I think it was wrong when they made so much money, but they do well to make a living now.
Yeah.
A family practice doctor does well.
Yeah, They're not living in the big palatial mansions
No,
anymore.
no,
are
no, 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 no. They like Doctor. What was his name? He was a surgeon here in town. I can see him. He was old when I came here. He's talking about the young doctor next to him. He said they think they have to have 2 Cadillacs in the garage when they've been in practice for a year.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the attitude they had. But what was that guy's name? I'm terrible with names, just terrible.
What about patients? Were there any patients along the line you got particularly attached to?
Oh yes, well, I not attached to, but there were people that I well, I have a lady that I'm sure Sue remembers her, Hollingsworth. She was hit in front of Delco Remy by a kid in a sports car. I think she was thrown about 60 feet in the air. She was on her way to work. And this whole pelvis was just crushed. And she had so much nerve pain that you could walk. She was in the room right across from the nurse's station. You could walk and just get to the door and it would set her pain off.
Oh my gosh.
And we kept her from, I think we kept her about 6 months.
Oh my.
And she was so bad, she went down to Duke. They had just started with the implants for pain. And she went down there to get one. And they came in and questioned her pretty thoroughly about how we had taken care of her, because they said she should have died.
Wow.
That nobody had that kind of an injury had survived. But we'd get her, and it would take 8 of us. We'd lift her. That's how we took care of her. But she is in Hawaii now. I hear from her. Well, every year until about 5 years ago, she'd send this huge bouquet to the floor and say thanks for one more year.
Wow.
And I remember she hadn't been there but 2 or 3 days, and I walked in the room, and she looked up at me. She was a very blunt, intelligent lady. She looked up at me and she said, "Am I the worst patient you've ever had?" I said, "Well, let me think about it. A couple more days, you're close." But we've been good friends, and I hear from her every Christmas. She lives in Hawaii. Her husband divorced her, left her with nothing. She had a daughter, and Melanie was a brat. God, she was a brat. And her mother put her through Purdue, and then she totally disappeared. She wanted nothing to do to take care of the invalid mother. Elsie thinks maybe she got in with a rowdy bunch in Houston. That's where she was working on an oil rig, I think. She thinks maybe she's dead. She's tried to find her, but she's never been able to.
Oh man.
But as soon as she got her college education, she was gone. And that was Elsie's assessment. It wasn't just mine. She said she got what she wanted, and she wanted to take care of me.
Wow.
But Elsie is still doing some walking, and it's remarkable that she is.
That's quite. You got to really feel good about that.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Elsie was, her husband played a lot of tennis. Elsie Hollingsworth. Did you ever hear of Ted Hollingsworth?
Oh, Ted
He worked
Hollingsworth,
at
yeah.
Well, that was his wife.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yep. Then I saw a kid the other day that got his leg caught in a corn grinder thing, and I thought about this kid. Auger, yeah. We got a kid in one day, and he kept his leg, and he got out of there. He was about 7 or 8 years old. Just ground the flesh up.
It's amazing that he could keep his leg and
He kept his leg.
fully restored,
Mm-hmm.
fully functional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Good nursing.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, nursing is an art.
I always heard that unit clerking was an art.
It is. I wouldn't have that job for. Sue was a good one too.
I always heard that the nurses took care of the doctors and the unit clerks took care of the nurses.
Well,
It's
that's
sort of a
some
chain of command there.
some truth to that.
Wow.
Some truth to that.
So what do you think you got out of your military years?
Discipline. Loyalty, I guess. Well, I had that before. I learned a tremendous amount of nursing discipline and nurses training. It was rough then. I mean, we had chapel every morning, and we had inspection when I was a student nurse. And we had the blue and white striped uniform with the stiff cuffs and the stiff collar. And they came from the laundry, and I just put mine on. I had a little rip right where the crease was, about that big. I got campused for 2 weeks.
Smokes, they were tough.
And I was wearing braces. And the lady that was director of nurses had been in my mother's nursing class. They were friends, so she really made it rough on me. She didn't want anybody to think that I was getting anything. So I went and I said, I wear braces and I have to go to the dentist. And my mother has to pay for them whether I go or not. Well, she said, you're not going. I said, okay. So I went. Who do you think I met right in the middle of the street? Annie Green. And when I got back, I had a note in my mailbox. I was a senior to take my black band off my cap.
Ah.
So that's where I got my discipline. I mean, you just have to. But they were not. And we started out, I think only, 8 or 9 dropped out of a class of about 25, so there weren't many of us.
Pretty tough.
It was tough.
Tough schooling.
I don't regret any of it. Work 12 hours a day, go to class. Sometimes there was only 6 hours for you to sleep. And they really didn't care. You got no sympathy.
I think as a patient, I would have cared a little bit to let the surgeons sleep anymore.
When you're young, you can get away with that once in a while.
Virginia McLean said that they sometimes work 72-hour shifts in the surgery.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
my gosh.
yes. You can do it as long as you keep doing it, but the minute you quit,
And you quit.
You're done.
I'm that way.
Done.
I can keep going. Boy, when I hit the
Mhm.
hey, I'm done.
I haven't been sleeping good lately.
By the way, Virginia says hi. Saw her last Friday.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I told her
How
we were
is
going to
she?
do your interview. Oh, she's doing great.
Is she?
Oh, she's just fantastic.
She's a nice lady.
One of the nicest people I've ever met. One of the best interviews we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing. Well, let's see now. What kind of medals did you get?
Didn't get any.
Didn't get any? Did you get the good conduct medal?
No, I didn't even get that. I wasn't in long enough to be up for medals, I guess, and as I say, the war was running down.
Yeah.
And but I would have liked to have stayed if I hadn't gotten married. I would have. I don't know if the Navy did anything in the Vietnam War. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they had barges and they did shelling and.
Well, the riverboats, they.
Riverboats, yeah.
Mhm.
How long were you over there?
1 year, 7 days. No, actually 5 days and 7 hours.
Well, you got it down, don't you?
Yeah, those guys really kept track.
I stayed over 5 extra days so I could get out.
Mm.
Okay, here's some other pieces of history here. Do you remember where you were when Franklin Roosevelt died?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was in the Navy.
Okay.
I was getting ready to go into the dining room, and I don't know whether Commander Bunty or somebody announced that Franklin had just died. It was in the afternoon. I don't remember what day it was.
Big shock.
No, I think he'd been sick for a long time. Wasn't quite as bad as Woodrow Wilson. Did you ever read that book?
My.
When the cheering stops. It's a good book. She'd prop him up on a train. He couldn't even sit up and take him to ride, so people would think she was the president.
Yeah.
She was the president.
He died of a broken heart as much as anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember your reaction to it and Roosevelt's death? How did you feel about Harry Truman? Did you think, oh my gosh, we're in the hands of a haberdasher now?
Well, he didn't impress me too much till he dropped the bomb. Then I decided he must be pretty brave.
Okay.
Because he got a lot of criticism for that.
So that was a good decision.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. A lot more people would have been killed.
Yeah. I think we've only had one person who even remotely challenged his decision.
Oh, really?
Of all the people.
I thought it was exactly the right thing to do.
And no doubt saved millions of Japanese lives.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I suppose, I don't know if Roosevelt would have dropped it or not.
Yeah, I kind of wonder.
Yeah.
That's an interesting scenario. I hadn't thought about that.
I hadn't either till just now. It just came up to me. I thought, would he have dropped it? I don't know. He was kind of a...
Such a wretched liberal, he probably wouldn't.
Probably wouldn't have want to save anybody's roaring.
Eleanor might not have let him.
Gosh, she was something else, wasn't she?
Was
She's sort of like Hillary.
she?
I think there's a great correlation there.
Yeah, that's my impression as well.
I don't know. God, if she gets to be president, I tell you, I'll be gone, but God help you.
VE Day.
Yeah, I don't think she'd get it.
What about VE Day?
VE Day, you know, I don't remember
This
much
was
about
after
that.
you were probably out by now. Out at that time, weren't you?
No, I didn't get out till after the war was over.
Okay.
Was it over for the VE Day 45?
45.
Yeah,
May
I was
May
in.
45.
I think to me went to the officers club and had a celebration, but I don't think there was any of the things like you saw in New York with everybody in the street.
Now, I'm kind of wondering about the mood of the country. There had to have been a celebration because we won that part of the war.
Mm-hmm.
But was there this lingering thing of, but it's not over yet?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, it wasn't over yet.
Yeah.
And I think that in many ways the Germans were just, I still don't like them. And I don't like, what's his name that's in there now? We saved their butt.
Yeah.
And he won't even say that George is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Saved Francis too. They could have been under the Germans.
I think the people in Normandy appreciate it more than anybody in France.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I still hear stories of Americans going back and
That was,
being treated royally.
well, and the German people may not feel that way. It may just be him.
Yeah. How much did you hear about what was going on in the war overseas? Did you hear much of anything at all?
Not much.
Yeah.
When you heard it, it was 2 weeks old.
Like D-Day. How
You
soon was
know,
it before you really knew much about it?
oh, I can't remember. I don't know that it,
It was like within a week, or was there a longer period of time, or did they pretty much want people to know?
oh, I think it was out,
It'd be hard to hide a thing like that.
yeah. And we did have radios, and we did have newspapers.
Yeah.
We used to have extras, read all about it.
Remember
You remember
Pyle?
that?
Oh, yeah.
Ernie Pyle, yeah. Paul liked him.
So VJ Day.
Don't remember that either.
Don't remember that?
No.
No big wild
No
celebration?
big wild. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Too busy working.
Too busy working. I'm sure that there was some reference or some celebration at the officers club or something.
Yeah, what's becoming of your children?
Oh, well, my daughter's a nurse. She works for Marion County Health Department. She's a supervisor and has about 40 nurses under her. I could not do that kind of nursing. I wouldn't last 5 minutes. Because I'd want them to all reform and want them to get up to my standard. And, well, you don't do that. You help them and you try to make them do better, but they don't do it. And my son, he works at Old Navy. He's Mark. sort of, I sometimes think I made him too aware of good and bad. He's a much better person than I am. Much, not very tolerant of the world as it is today.
Yeah.
He gets very angry. And I do it to a certain degree, but he's always been that way, even when he was a teenager. And then,
intolerance can be good because intolerance doesn't let bad things happen.
well, maybe so, but anyway, he's a sweet boy. Looks like his dad. And we don't have any grandchildren. We have a schnauzer dog.
Do you have any grandpuppies?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. One of our dogs died, and I still am debating whether to get another one or not.
Yeah.
I don't think Paul would. Probably wouldn't be nearly as well off as he is if he didn't have the dogs to keep him going, keep him company.
How is his health?
He's better than he's been in a long time.
He seemed pretty chipper.
He's. I don't think there's many people alive that had bypass surgery 16 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's. Of course, he never really had a heart attack, so he doesn't have a lot of heart damage. His heart's still good, and he's a totally compliant patient.
Yeah.
Much better than I would be. He rode 10,000 miles on his Aerodyne bicycle and went nowhere. Now, how patient can you be?
That's patient.
Yeah, 10,000 miles he rode on that.
Wow.
And he eats something he shouldn't every once in a while, but by and large, Dr. Woodbury told me I'd taken too good a care of him. But he feels better. He went through a spell where Dr. Wosheets gave him some change of eye drops, and he was bottoming out with his blood pressure. You just never knew when it was going to happen. And happened in Wosheets' office one day. And he called me and he said, "Jenny, get over here." I said, "He'll be okay, doctor." He said, "No, we're going to take him to the emergency room." I said, "I've been there at least 5 times. They run all these blood tests. They do all the chest x-rays, and they come back and say, well, we can't find anything wrong with him. By this time he's awake and he's doing fine." Doctor called up and he said, I think I found out what his trouble is. He said that eye drop had a beta blocker in it, and it's hard to believe that one drop in an eye could cause his blood pressure to bottom out to 40 over nothing.
Oh, that's powerful stuff.
Never had another bit of trouble since we quit.
Oh, we don't. That's
It
amazing.
was the end of that.
You have a remarkable husband.
Yeah, he's pretty tough. He's
He is.
pretty tough.
Yeah, he has a remarkable wife, so I
Well,
guess it works out.
We've had a good life. We really have.
I think it's interesting that you have your children.
Mhm.
One child is a nurse, and the other is involved in the Old Navy,
Mhm.
and you were involved in the Old Navy.
Right. It's sad. Oh, Susan was like, I said almost exactly the same thing to her when she said she was going to be a nurse. I said, you will last about 5 minutes. She went to Catherine Spalding College, which is a girls' college in Louisville.
Yeah.
And she got really good training. Some of these schools don't. They give them a little, their grades they want them to have, but they don't give them much practical experience.
Yeah.
So
Book learning only takes you so far.
that's right. And as I say, there's some people that should never be nurses. I've known a few doctors that should have never been a doctor.
Well, I'm learned a lot tonight.
You did?
I really have. We've heard some interesting things that we hadn't heard. Everybody has
Their own
a
story.
little special piece of life experience.
Yeah.
Learned about the doctor who delivered me.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know much detail about him.
Oh, he's a nice man.
Yeah. Well, do you have any words for posterity?
No. I'm always doing that, but I can't. I can't think of any right now.
Something you share with your children to carry them through into their old age?
Well, I hope that they'll do as well as their dad and I've done. Just follow my example.
There you go.
God's been extremely good to me. I've had good health. But I think my head has a lot to do with that.
There you go.
I'm a big believer that our head is 50% in charge of our body. I really believe that.
There you go.
Mhm.
That's excellent. Well, Ensign Loftus, I want to thank you for this interview and your service to our country and your many years of fine medical
Well,
work.
as I say, it's been a wonderful life, and I wouldn't mind to live it over.
It may appear as though we've had an extremely long pause here, because what we're doing is we're doing something kind of rare. We're coming back to pick up a couple of stories from the previous interview. It is now January the 10th, 2003, and we would like to, the stories you told were just a little too good for us to bypass, so we had to come back and pick them up. Often, after we get off camera, somebody will start remembering
Well,
things.
you can't possibly sit here for an hour and remember all.
You can't think of it all, but then this is just a little too good. Now, before we started filming here, you said we'd like to get a little idea of how you found out about World War
Well,
II
it
starting.
just shows how isolated we were then. I was a student nurse. I worked all morning, and I was going home for Sunday afternoon. That's the only time we ever got off.
Right.
And I was on the bus, and everybody was talking how terrible it was and how awful it was. And finally, I turned around to somebody and I said, "What's so terrible?" And they told me that the Japanese had hit Pearl Harbor, and there was no radios. I mean, people don't understand. There was no radios. There was no nothing.
Right.
Unless you got a newspaper.
Now, this was in
41.
what location?
Asheville,
It was in
North
Asheville?
Carolina. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Probably couldn't get very good radio reception anyway with the
Probably,
mountains around.
probably not.
Yeah. Even today.
And my brother had a crystal radio set, and it used to static all the time.
Could you really pick up anything besides static?
Well, you sometimes would get WWNC, which was right in downtown Asheville, but not much. Not much.
Yeah, exciting for a kid anyway.
Right.
Well, it was exciting for everybody. It was a brand new thing coming out.
Well, it's just we have so much communication bombarding us these days
Right.
that you can't imagine that you wouldn't know the war had started.
Yeah. Well, you're probably isolated from other parts of the country as well. I mean, now we have a pretty good idea of what's going on all across the country, but
Look at the people after the war. There was lots of people that came into the service, had never been out of their county or their city.
nice.
And that's when people started roaming and not staying at home and not staying in one spot.
What's the farthest you'd been before the war?
Well, my father was a railroad engineer, so I had a free pass.
Ah.
So I used to be able to get on the Pullman and go to Florida and go to Arkansas and go to, where else did we go? Up to Virginia lots of times. So that was a nice perk.
Did you have a favorite place you liked to go when you were a kid?
Favorite place. Well, I hated picnics. I still hate picnics. I built a house so I don't have to eat with the bugs. I hate picnics. People don't understand that. I don't know why you wouldn't take a sandwich out in the open.
I know, barbecuing out. I mean, you have a perfectly good stove inside.
That's right. I hate
It's all
it.
a mess.
I don't do much of it, no.
Well, what about on your Pullman trips? Did you have a...
Oh, well, I had a friend in Miami that I used to go down a couple of times a year, and my mother liked to go to Florida once a year. And it was kind of nice. I can still remember laying in the Pullman, and I'd wake up and realize we were stopped, and I'd put the shade up and look out the window and watch all the people. It was
Yeah.
kind of fun. It was fun.
It would be.
Those were good old days.
They were.
They
fun
were.
times.
I'd go back
They were fun times.
in a minute.
It was just, the atmosphere was so much better. People were polite. It was
yeah.
relaxed. You didn't worry about so many things.
Did things for other people.
Yeah. You weren't as pressed for time, it seemed like.
That's right.
Maybe I'm thinking that just because I was younger and I didn't have the responsibilities, but
Well, it was there weren't as many responsibilities because we all had the same, which was probably nothing.
Right.
And you just did the best you could and shared with other people, and that was the end of it.
That's where we had our possessions. Our possessions were other people as opposed to stuff.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
our treasures were with other people.
Well, and we treasured people more. I mean, I bet my mother has baked this porch full of pound cakes and given them away, taking them to people.
Yeah.
That was the way of life with her.
Yeah. I remember we used to visit relatives a lot more than what we do now.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
We don't have any relatives, so I don't have to worry about it. Have a brother.
well, you were in Asheville. You were in nurses training at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, did you ever have a time in your life when you were unsure of yourself? You just seemed so confident and
No, I never really did.
yeah.
I've had times when I was apprehensive or concerned about whether I could do something or whether things were going to work out right, but I never dwelt on those kind of things. I just did it.
If I could teach that to every teenager I know, that's probably the key. Having confidence that
I don't think it was taught to me. My mother was that type of person. Maybe I just picked it up from her. Or maybe it was my genes. I don't know. Maybe I think maybe it might be a combination of the two.
yeah, it could be. Could be.
But my mother was very, very self-sufficient, and when my father died and I was 5 years old and my brother was 18 months, and she hired a black lady and put her in a uniform and went to work.
Yeah.
And that's the way she did all her life. My father finally burned her uniforms because she'd say, "I'm not going to work anymore," and he'd say, "Good." And somebody'd call, they were sick, she'd go. So he finally burned them. So
That's what the story.
I don't really think she cared. I think it kind of helped her because she didn't have to do it.
Does Paul ever threaten to do that to you because you're still at it?
No, that's the one thing I say. I used to have student nurses that would get so upset if they were going to be a minute late getting home.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, I wouldn't last very long in that atmosphere. Because if I drive in that garage at 6 o'clock or whatever time it is, he knows where I've been.
Yeah.
And he never said a word. Never.
Yeah, you impress me as the type of person who would just as soon work till the day you die.
Oh, I'm going to.
Okay. Got your plans? Yeah.
I hope when my time comes, I'm on my feet with the shoes on, ready to do something for somebody or myself.
That's a heck of a way to go. It is. And
Don't want to be sick.
Is that your motivation, just helping people? Is that?
That's what I get.
Or
That's,
just-
that's why I was so miserable with retirement. There wasn't anybody to help. I just thought, God, this is all that's left for me. This is pretty sad.
Yeah.
No, I have a horror of not keeping my smarts. And I think, I don't know if it's right or not, but I think it's just like your arm. If you don't use it, you lose it.
I agree. I
So
agree.
I'm going to keep using it.
I've seen people who are incredibly intelligent and sharp right to the end, but they worked at it.
That's right.
It just didn't happen to them. They
Well, you
read,
see these
they-
people in government,
stayed
like I saw, what was his name the other night, Schultz. He was Secretary of Labor, and he's Secretary of something in Eisenhower or Nixon.
Yeah.
And he must be well into his 90s, but he was well dressed and looked maybe 80, but sort of spoke well, mind was sharp. But I bet he keeps busy all the time.
I bet he does too.
Yeah.
But it does too.
One of the reasons we're here is to pick up on your story of a particular doctor you worked with when you were in nurses
Oh.
training.
Well, it was Dr. Nelson Bell. He was he was in China as a missionary with his family. They lived there. And when the war broke out, they made him come back to the States. So he settled in Montreat, which is about 30 miles from Asheville. I went to college there 1 year. It's a Presbyterian center. And he was a surgeon, and he practiced medicine in the hospital where I was training. So I used to scrub for him because during those times, a lot of times we'd do surgeries. There was going to be the doctor and a student nurse. There was nobody else. the doctors were all gone. So he was very kind, very competent. Never picked up the scalpel that he didn't bow his head and ask for God's guidance. So I remember that well. And his daughter married Billy Graham.
Okay, Ruth? Okay.
Ruth. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see any of his kids when they were young?
No. See, I left there right after, just about the time, a year or two before the war was over, I left and went to the Navy. And I never went back home.
Yeah.
That was the end of it.
Seems like quite a mentor,
Uh-huh.
quite an inspirer.
Well, I'm very proud of the nurses that worked for me and how they turned out. Everybody in the hospital says, "I know you trained under Loftus," and they don't mean it. They don't mean it bad.
That's a compliment.
It is.
Yes,
Compliment. Yeah.
Well, I've always felt if I didn't pass on what I had and what I knew, that was kind of stupid not to pass it on to somebody else.
That's true. Now, one other thing you mentioned, I wanted to get a little more detail on it if I could. You said that when you were working with burn victims,
Mm-hmm.
you had a doctor that came up with some sort of formula for something you could put on the burns?
Dr. Ludwig
Ludwig.
Mhm.
Okay.
was a vinegar, and as I remember, it was an acetate, which is vinegar,
Okay.
and glycerin.
Okay.
They just wrapped them up in like swaddling clothes
Huh.
all over, because a lot of these people came off the Franklin, which was a kamikaze had hit that ship, and they'd maybe burned all over. And
So how would you apply it? Would you pour
they
it
would put
onto
just
the
pour it.
burns?
You literally got the dressings on them about that thick,
Okay.
and then you poured that on there, and it stayed on there for a couple days. I think we changed them. Can't remember that well
Would you
anymore.
pour it directly on the skin?
No, on the dressing.
On the dressing?
Yes,
Okay. And
they were
it's-
kind of
it's
like a
soaked-
mummy,
Right.
and on the skin. And when it just debrided that burned skin, and the flesh underneath was just as pink and clean as it could be.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yes.
I've heard so many stories about people who were burned and they're just left
Awful
with
burns.
scars
Awful
for life.
burns. Awful burns. I hate burns.
Did you ever talk to any of the fellows who were on the Franklin? Did they say much about it, or?
No, I had this Marine. He wasn't on the Franklin. He's one, certain people you remember. I can't remember his name now. He was on Iwo Jima, and he was shot through the elbow and then off of his ribs. And when he got off he used to bring the train up into the compound where the hospital was. You could smell him coming. And they'd put this cast on this arm with this gunshot wound. He'd been on the ship, had nothing been done to it.
Oh my.
And there were maggots when we took it off. And they kept trying to get him to let him amputate it, and he wouldn't do it. And the last I knew, he still wore a black glove and still had that arm on, but I bet he's had it off by now.
Yeah.
But I remember him thinking, what a terrible thing to have that happen to you.
Probably a young fellow, good looking.
Oh yeah,
Elsewhere.
nice looking Marine.
You partial to Marines?
I kind of like Marines.
Yeah, you got one
When
in
I
particular.
was in the Navy before I knew Paul, I sort of liked taking care of the Marines. They're a little different.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Okay, tell me how.
Well, they've got sort of this confidence thing.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they drill that into them when they get in boot training or somewhere, but somewhere they get it. And they have such a spirit of their core that it's hard not to notice that they're different.
I know some of the fellows said that we had a lot of respect for them, but we never got near them. We just left them alone because they come off the island after being in a fight, and you just didn't want to get near them because they would just anything would set them off.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess that's right.
and they just you just respected that. And went on.
Well, I just look at these young boys on the TV, and you wonder how many will survive that.
There's nothing
They found something else about that. You know that Navy flyer that they thought had been, who shot down over Iraq during the last war.
Yes.
They think he's still alive.
Really?
Yes, and they've decided now, they heard something new came today. They said he had been moved 16 times.
Wow.
And now his wife has remarried,
Oh,
has
boy.
children. Now what if he would come back? Wouldn't it be,
Oh, my.
that would case that head off of Saddam just for that.
Yeah. And I think we just left him languishing there for all those years.
He was a
Never even
handsome
attempted to get him.
young man. They've had his picture on. He was a nice looking man.
I hope
She-
they get him out, but at the same time, it's going to be a heck of an adjustment for
Mm,
him.
mm.
Well,
I can't even imagine.
the abuse he's already endured.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Can't fathom that.
Well, I bet he'll never let, Saddam will never let us get our hands on him.
Yeah, use him for
Mm.
maybe even if he's dead. I mean, he'll say he's alive, and
Yeah,
you blow up
yeah,
that facility, you get him too.
That's right. Well, I don't think I know any more tales.
I want to make sure I got those two in particular because
Mhm.
it was just too good of a story, and I want to really thank you for the help you've given us.
Oh, you're
Yes.
welcome.
You've led to
Awesome.
other interviews and even a little bit of money coming in. And that's,
That's good.
that's real encouraging.
Well,
You can't wonder.
I wouldn't be surprised. Bill and I decided it was about 50-50 that Doolin would do it.
Right.
But you'll find him a very nice man.
Well, I've heard that.
Very nice man. Good doctor. He was in the X-ray department when I went to St. John's.
You want to tell Sue anything while we got the tape on?
Hi, Sue.
That'll work out.
You have a nice husband.
I had to shut off for that.
Well, thanks a lot,
ready now?
Virginia.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
doing this.